you for having me, Hammersmith. I love it. What a beautiful building, and I love what a beautiful place. I live in Lewisham, which is brilliant. Yeah, woo, Lewisham! If you haven't been there, just go southeast from here until you start getting scared. And then you've arrived. It's brilliant. The reason I moved to Lewisham, I'd never been there. I took the first flat I could find on the internet when I was moving in with my boyfriend. I've been with my boyfriend for 11 months, so I'm still in that lovely bit where you cry all the time. And we moved in together after 2 months, right? So I'm aware it was very quick, it was very early in our relationship, but I just couldn't bear waking up without him in the morning, and he couldn't afford his rent. And so it's romantic. I really wish I could show him to you, because he has the best body shape that a man can have. I don't know if you've ever seen a man like this. He's got very thin arms and legs, very thin, and then in the middle, a massive belly. It's so nice. It's a combination. He's got bad posture, and he eats terribly, like all carbohydrate-y, sugary things. I tell him all the time how much I love that belly, and he thinks it's because I don't want him to get insecure, but it's not. It's because I'm pretending he's having our child. I love it. I love to stroke it all the time and say, have another biscuit. It's so nice. Now, when you're in a new relationship, you'll all have had this experience. It's very exciting for everyone else around you, so people always ask, oh, how's it going? And it's such a difficult question to answer. Like, how are you supposed to actually describe the feeling of being in love using language? It doesn't come anywhere near the truth. At the beginning, I used to attempt to use analogies. So people would say, oh, how's it going? And I would say, oh, it's like I've always been a plant, but I used to be in a garden centre or a supermarket on a shelf, and now I'm in the garden. And you can't say that to people. I've learned that. So now what happens, people go, oh, how's it going? And I say, fine. And, but then my friend the other day, she said, well, you don't seem very happy. And I said, yeah, that's because I'm not with him, I'm here with you. And apparently that's very rude. And my friend really told me off. She said, actually, Sarah, it's very important that you stay in contact with your friends. But why? I've got him now. And then she said, well, what about if you break up? But if we break up, then I'll kill myself, so I still don't need you. And we live in a society that considers any relationship that doesn't last until your death a failure. And that's what really concerned me. At the beginning with my boyfriend, when I realised how happy I was, I started worrying that we would break up one day, because all of my previous relationships have finished. And I don't want that to happen. And what I found out is, you shouldn't worry about the ending at the beginning. It ruins everything, and it's illogical. It's like giving birth to a baby dressed as the Grim Reaper. It's like turning up at a job interview and going, oh, what's the point? If you don't sack me, I'll quit. And so that's why I was thinking about other couples. I thought a lot about Adam and Eve, because they, of course, were the original couple. And yeah, sure, at the beginning, it's all magical. It's all staying up late, counting each other's ribs and laughing. But over time, the magic fades. He's boring. She's off talking to wildlife and comfort eating. And then their landlord kicks them out. One of their kids kills the other one. And if they can't make it work in paradise, what chance have I got in Lewisham? We don't have a lot of problems. It is early days. The two things we have, me and my boyfriend, we always have a row when I'm getting dressed, because he thinks it takes too long, and he doesn't understand that I have to try on all of my trousers, because some of my trousers are liars, and they lie about the shape and size of my legs, and different trousers lie on different days, so I never know who's going to be doing it, and I have to try them all on. And I don't know who's behind it, if it's NATO or the Illuminati, but they're trying to slow me down. And the other thing, I don't like leaving him alone in the house, because I'm worried he's having sex with somebody that he thinks is me. Yes. My worry is I've got a doppelganger, someone who looks exactly like me, and he's doing it with her. And the reason is, apart from the beginning where it was very passionate, I don't think that we have enough sex anymore, but he says that we have plenty. Which makes me think he must be having it with someone he thinks is me when I'm not in the house. And that's annoying on two levels. Like, number one, he's cheating on me behind my back, and number two, I'm not allowed to have a go at him about it because he thought it was me. I mean, what if she said she was me? That is the kind of thing I would say. Now, I'm being kind kind of flippant about something. It's a very serious subject. Now, I really hope you've never had this experience, but if you're the person in a relationship who wants to have sex more than the other person and you get rejected all the time, what you end up with is sexual frustration. And it's just such a horrible thing. It's a vicious cycle and it's game over because you can't seduce anybody once you're sexually frustrated when you need it most. You can't encourage someone to do it with you by crying with rage. It doesn't change their mind. And I've tried talking about it both on stage and to his mum, and for some reason it's not helping. I can't talk to my mum about it. My mum's brilliant and I love her and respect her, but she has very bad advice, especially about sex. My mum was brought up Catholic. She thought that was very oppressive, and she tried to liberate me and my sisters by giving us all of the information, okay? Too much information. When I was 11, before I started secondary school, my mum gave me a lecture about cunnilingus. In preparation for secondary school. My mum told me what it was, and then she said that whenever I went to bed with a boy, I was to insist that he do this as a mark of respect. Now, I look back as an adult and I think, oh, I can see what my mum was trying to do. She obviously wanted to empower me to find my own pleasure. It had the exact opposite effect. It ruins everything. There is no way you can enjoy yourself with a man between your legs if you're thinking, Mum would be proud. Very similar kind of age. I still would have been in the first year at school, so about 11. I must have heard somebody using the word twat, right? I must have picked it up, because in a row with my mum, I called her a twat. And she was very angry, but also calm. And she stopped me, she said, that is a very ugly word about a very beautiful part of the female anatomy. And then she drew me a very, very detailed vagina. Demonstration of her point. So obviously what happened was, the next day at school, I heard somebody calling somebody a twat, and I marched over and said, no, actually it's a very ugly word, but a very beautiful part of the female anatomy, and I drew them a very, very detailed vagina. So subsequently at school, for 5 years, I was known as a raving and predatory lesbian. Of course, we were children. We had no idea what a lesbian was, but it was probably the girl surrounded by self-drawn genitalia, pushing it on people all the time. And I would argue that it is better to be called a twat than Leonardo da Vinci. And thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye.